Goal kick taken out by Camilleri. Ball in dispute. Again, Emerging coming away with it. They've just been winning all these 50-50 balls in the opening exchanges. Come down this left flank once again. It's a good move forward. Now can players arrive in the middle? Well, they're doing well to scramble back. And I understand there has been some technical difficulties, but I am informed that the stream has finally come on board, so apologies for that if you are now just tuning in. If you have just gotten live pictures and sounds, the good news is you haven't missed a goal after 14.5 minutes here at the home of the Matildas. Round one, it's still Emerging 0. Calder United 0. As Emerging, as they have been wont to do in these opening exchanges, trying to work their way down the left flank. However, on this occasion, it's not Calder that knocks them back, but the assistant's flag. Is Joey Lynch, and I'll say my hellos once again if you are just getting vision and sound for the first time. It's the third game of the new NPL Women's Victoria season at its newest venue, the home of the Matildas. And it is mostly the hosts making the early running, albeit Calder have come closest to actually putting the ball in the back of the net. Mami Ambo, one of the new signings in this Calder side, hitting the crossbar.
Let's go, step, going.
Ball intended to just work its way in behind is picked out by Adeline Ayton. The lineups for Calder: it's Chloe McKenzie in goal, Amelia Tartaglia, Jade Tam, Eva Goodsmith, who is also serving as the captain, Kane Shimzu, Mami Ambo, Olivia Anderson, Alicia Eki, Adeline Ayton, Maya Hyson, Eva Magorian, and Tamsin Smith.
Let's go.
Now this is a chance in behind. Rossi for Emerging. She's forced to go backwards. Calder now getting numbers back. The shot comes in and it's saved by Camilleri. Calder looking to spring forward down the left flank. Anderson giving chase. Audrey though gets there first, sends it back to McKenzie. One in the midfield by Calder. Keisha Sandhu wanted a free kick. Didn't get one. A referee in the middle, Angelique Gonzalez. First time ball from Keisha Sandhu. Probably hopefully in the direction of Shimzu. Didn't come off. Again Emerging. We'll go back to McKenzie. This time. It's Jade Tam, but then Jade Tam in the early season, not quite on the same wavelength yet. You can't build that up in pre-season without that competitive football, no matter how much you try. Pass is wayward. Call the throw-in on this left flank. Coming off there for Emerging. Now just wanted to play it through for Rossi. Just a bit too much mustard on it and called a collect. But that's a horror ball in the middle of the park. Rossi is through one-on-one. The keeper's fallen over. And Rossi will punish Calder for their mistake. FV Emerging 1, Calder United 0. Cleanly taken from the emerging number 10. Held her nerve, picked out her spot, and put it away with aplomb. 19 minutes just about gone here at the home of the Matildas, and now it is the hosts with what you would consider to be a deserved lead. They've had the best of the game. They've been pressuring Calder, getting in their faces, not letting them play out. And now they get their rewards. And how could Calder United respond? They have generally had the wood over their rivals, FV Emerging, in this fixture. In fact, these two sides have played 20 times in their NPL rivalry. Calder have won 18 of those games. There was one draw last season, and Emerging have only won once. Back at that result in a few moments now as Gaudry comes through. Camilleri off her line, and she's come out of her area and just got caught up underneath her, and she's going to get pinged for handling it. Unfortunate, that one, for the Calder keeper. Not a deliberate handling of the ball by any means. It just sort of got rolled up underneath her. Probably didn't realise where she was, but handling the ball outside the area is handling the ball outside the area. So free kick for Emerging. And we'll take the opportunity to grab a few drinks during this stoppage as well. And a yellow card for the Calder custodian. So always interesting in these situations what you want to do if you are Emerging. Very difficult angle if you wanted a shot. And that's not what they're going to do. It's going to be taken short, and then eventually the shot comes in, but it's blocked away. Second opportunity for Rossi. She goes round one, looking up, left-footed cross, just to nobody in particular, and it will roll out for a goal kick. Emerging under Coach Santi Escudero, his first game as head coach in this league, NPLW Victoria. They are on top. Ah, that's a horror ball out. Rossi, first time effort, off the line, Camilleri. Attempted 1-2 between Rossi and Aitken, comes out, but Calder are at 6s and 7s. The un-Calder-like performance in these opening 22 minutes.
Winnie back, quick, quick. Organize, up on your mark. In.
Calder moving it across the pitch.
Nancy, your mark. Nancy.
The ball will roll out for a throw-in, and our first official drinks break of the day. So 23 minutes of football gone here at the home of the Matildas. Calder nil, I should say. FE Emerging 1, Calder nil. Karina Rossi with the game's only goal. Could have had a second. Pouncing on a ball as Calder attempted to play out from their own penalty area, but Camilleri just scrambling back in the Calder goal to keep it out. Good start to the game from Rossi. He's already racked up 50% of her total from across the entire 2023 season when it came to goals. Building on that momentum. She was called into Junior Matilda's camp earlier this year, preparation for the Under-17 Women's Asian Cup. One of several players in the emerging ranks to receive that nod from Coach Ray Dow, head of the tournament in Indonesia later this year. Signals that the drinks break has come to an end. Players need to return to the pitch. Calder boss Kogu Salvaratnam still giving us some last minute instructions in his dugout. It's his first official game as the full-time boss of Calder United, long-time figure at the club. Taking over this season. We're going to go one better than their fourth place finished and elimination in the first round of the finals at the hands of Bulleen last campaign. Of course, they did add another Nike FC Cup to their ledger during that time. It's now 5 straight for Calder United. Mason looking one way and then the other. Her pass is picked out. Rossi staying cool under pressure. Got this ball in. Can't quite bring it down. Good area. Emerging, doing well to kick the ball. Fancy footwork from Laura Aitken. Area had 2 players to beat. Just sends it right into the breadbasket of Olivia Anderson. Good enough to win her side a throw-in.
Eva, your mark, you're right, Eva!
Goodsmith coming away with it again for emerging. They're not letting Calder do anything with the ball. Play's now switched over to this left flank, keeping the ball moving. West away to Goodsmith. Gaudry. Didn't like what she saw in front of her. Went back to Jade Tam. Patient with their build-up, are emerging. They've got this. Loses her first marker. Sandal gets in the road, so she'll go backwards. Goodsmith ball gets across to Ayaria. Big coming together, and it's going to be a free kick again on the edge of the area. Aitken winning it, almost in the exact same position we had that free kick earlier for when Chanel Camilleri handled it outside of her area. Calder setting up a 3-player wall. Rossi with the ball at her feet. Well, the last time they had the free kick in this vicinity, it was a short one, a worked routine off the training track. There's now 4 players come up to make the wall. Cortes standing alone, the left footer, and while the angle is a bit kinder, if emerging wanted to shoot directly from this free kick, they're not packing numbers into the box. Moment of truth. Sent in towards the back post, headed clear. Tyson with the defensive header for Calder. Tam for emerging, picks out a teammate. Aria. Tam again. Coughs that ball up. Ambo has it stolen straight off her, however. Goodsmith just cleaning up in the base of the midfield for emerging and just telling her teammates to keep it calm. Palms up. He picks that one out. Anderson can't keep it moving alongwards. Shimazu laid it off. That ball's going to bounce directly out for an emerging throw-in. Audrey getting some instructions from Coach Santi Escudero. Ball up for grabs in the middle, but miscommunication from Calder. Tamsin Smith just puts the ball into touch. No teammates in the vicinity. Anderson playing it central. Langley hoofs it forward, but to nobody in particular. Long ball over the top. Foot race is on. Aiton just using her bigger body to shield the ball as she redirects it into touch. Rossi continuing to ask questions of this Calder backline. And Gaudry coming up to take the throw and appeals for a handball. Waved away. Aitken back central. Goodsmith. That's a fine ball in. Camilleri comes off her line quickly, however, and makes the save. Emerging, continuing to knock on the door. We've gone just over half an hour of football here at the home of the Matildas. Is the NTC program. FV emerging with a 1-0 lead. Rossi's strike still the difference. And again, the connections aren't there for Calder. The transition breaks down. Broken play. Smith's pass just knocked forward, intended for Anderson's run, but not there. Bit of frustration perhaps seeping into the game for Calder United. Goodsmith. Back to Tam. Eventually closed down by Smith, so she'll just go out to the wing. Gaudry back central. Goodsmith. First time attempts by Adeline Aiton didn't come off. Plays it back to Camilleri, who was immediately closed down. Eki can't just turn it around the corner, at least initially. Langley cleaned up for Calder. Now Sandur has a bit of space to work in on the right. First time ball in behind, but the flag has gone up. Tamsin Smith won't be allowed to get an attempt away. Tamsin Smith still searching for a way to make her mark in this game, returning to Calder as part of the Heidelberg team that won the 2023 Under-19 Championship, defeating South Melbourne 3-2 in the grand final. She also spent some time at Alamein during her excursion away from Kilo Park Recreation Reserve. Ambo coming away with the ball. Mami Ambo loses one player, and then fresh airs the attempted cross. Goodsmith fell over but recovered quickly, knocking the ball up the touch, but only as far as Alicia Eki. Back inside. Shimizu was just monstered from behind, but the bounce will favour Calder. It's a strong tackle, however, on Langley. Natalia carrying the ball out. Shielding it from Akeisha Sandu. Well, they're getting numbers back behind the ball. Mami Ambo is the only one forward. And that ball will sail long. Call the throw in on their defensive right flank. Come to much, emerging with the opportunity to come forward now. Kept in. Both players appealing. It will be a Calder ball. Megorian, one of the young defenders in this Calder side, 17 years old. Spent some time in the NTC program, now playing against them this afternoon at the home of the Matildas. Goodsmith playing the ball across to the right flank, 50-50 ball. Emerging, coming away with it, working in tight areas. Gaudry looking up, can she find an option? Always slicing away off her boot, and Chanel Camilleri keeping it in so she can boot it out in the direction of Sandu. Bounces off her chest. Natalia keeps her head and just plays it to a teammate. Foot race. It was on down the left until it was Emma Langley sliding across, bailing out the teammate Megorian.
Too far, Eva!
Claims by Camilleri. Tries to get things going quickly, but that's just going to bounce off Mami Ambo. She can score, can Mami Ambo. Won the Golden Boot in the VPLW last season, scoring 35 with the Casey Comets. Calder did have plenty of success in recruiting striking power from the VPL and immediately getting rewarded for it in an NPLW level last season. Urahida coming up, leading them in goals with 11, and now playing a trade with Western United in the A-League Women. Western United, of course, playing their first game out of their regional training base in Wyndham. Tomorrow, playing host to the Newcastle Jets in the A-League Women. That's a good ball in behind. Cut back or shot. It's going to be a shot, and it's going to be well saved by Camilleri off the crossbar. Danger's not cleared across the face of goal. Calder yet again survive by the skin of their teeth and the glove of Chanel Camilleri. For now, at least, is emerging still. Poking and prodding until Clancy Westerway's effort just loops off her boot and out for a goal kick. You can see that cordon set up by Emerging. 3 players on the very edge of the Calder penalty area, and they immediately spring forward to try to force the turnover. Ambo. She's dropped very deep to receive this one, trying to turn and face goal, only able to win a throw-in. Ambo, ball on the right flank. Players trying to get forward for Calder. They haven't had much joy in this half. Can they find a spark? Not on this occasion. Cleared away by Emerging. That ball's straight down the throat of Emma Langley. And it's sent straight back to Emerging. Neither side being clean with it. Shimizu. Gregorian. Hyson. Trying to play it through for Sandu, who in turn was looking to knock it around the corner for Shimizu. It doesn't come off. Japanese midfielder applies the pressure to McKenzie. Tartaglia avoids the sliding challenge. Westaway, high ball forward. Defensive header. Knocked on by Langley. And that will bounce out for an Emerging throw-in on their defensive left flank. Central. Goodsmith for Emerging, looking up. Had Gaudry open. Instead, she wanted to send it forward to Aitken. Mason just knocking it high and into space. Tartaglia comes down with it. Ambo getting across to lay the challenge. All knocked over the top. Just the bigger body of Adeline Ayton. Not able to win a goal kick, but just preventing the danger for now as it goes out for a corner. Potentially a short one coming. 2 players in the vicinity for Emerging. Sandu spies it. Comes up to just help set up some kind of wall with Olivia Anderson. Goes short anyway. Cleared away by Calder. Bounces to Sandu. Rossi applying the pressure. Camilleri. She takes her time before knocking it down the right flank into space. Tartaglia wanted to watch it roll out, didn't have the juice on it in the end, so she'll go backwards, but plenty of time for Emerging to reload. Tam. Back to McKenzie. Gracie Clarkson. Gets it back from Tartaglia. Now the press has come. Anderson for Calder, but comes to Norse in the end. Somewhat reflective of this opening 45 minutes from the visitors. Momentary flashes wherein something might be created, but not much in the way of actual conversion upon them. crossbar through a chance to Mami Ambo, but other than that, haven't really looked like creating much, let alone scoring. Here comes emerging once again. Ball intended for Rossi. Knocked clear. It's Camilleri now. Tyson's high ball out. Controlled by Langley. Is there some late cooking coming for Calder? Sandu. There's Ambo in the middle if she can get a cross in. Tartaglia in her face, preventing any such actions. And then putting the ball out for a throw-in. It's been good in this opening 45. There's Emilia Tartaglia. Played central by Calder. Knocked away by Goodsmith. Shimizu. Sandu. Ball in. Anderson was in the area, but it couldn't find her before Ellen Gaudry. Sandu. Ambo. Shimizu. Got it away as she was falling over, and it was a nice little turn by Tamsin Smith. Beat the first defender, but couldn't beat the second. However, in a positive little mini spell for Calder at the end of this opening half, they'll have a corner kick, and well, it is one of the challenges that FE Emerging consistently face, regardless of what season it is. They aren't the largest of teams. You can already see the likes of Alicia Eki and Aya Hyson coming up for Calder. Delivery in is a good one. Sails over the heads of the first pack. Shimizu off the front. Oh, and it's in! Shimizu from downtown. An absolute bomb. It hung up there for an age. Bounced off the crossbar, bounced off the post. Everybody sort of stopped, wondering what had happened. Only to watch it roll across the goal line and in for the equaliser. Well, you cannot turn off in football after largely controlling this opening 45 minutes. Okay, and Shimizu, from almost 30 yards out, ties this game up. With what was effectively the last kick of the first half. Remarkable. Well, Calder United, at the end of all that one, after being under siege for most of the opening 45 minutes, will head to the sheds in a state of parity. It was Rossi who opens the scoring for Emerging, but then, as you just saw, Calder's Japanese midfielder tying things up. Opportunity perhaps for the visitors to try to gather some form of momentum and come out stronger in the second stanza. Should be a good one. Be sure to join us here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page in about 10 to 15 or so minutes for all the action. Welcome back, one and all, to live pictures from the home of the Matildas here in Bandura. And before we can get through any pleasantries, emerging immediately, marching down the field, looking to attack. Another Buttress, who was thrown on as one of 3 half-time substitutions made by these two sides, whipping the ball in. Nothing coming from it initially, but emerging. Still knocking on the door. At least for a while, until Akisha Sandhu had something to say about it. She knocks it down touchline for Nami Ambo. Trying to drive inside, well marshalled by Jade Tam, who will put the ball out for a corner kick. Indeed, 3 subs made at half-time. Jennifer Lund coming onto the park for Calder United. And Ella Buttress and Annabelle Yates entering the fray for FE emerging. Ambo floats this one in. We saw from the second phase of a corner that Calder equalised with what was effectively the last kick of the first half. Karina Rossi putting emerging ahead in the 19th minute, only for Kane Shimizu from a long, long way out to wind up and loop an effort off the crossbar, off the post, and just over the goal line. Which ensured that we will commence the second 45 minutes of this round 1 game of the season. Locked at 1-1, ball in towards the back post. Felt kindly for Lund, she couldn't make proper contact with it, and then the follow-up effort not as sweetly struck as Shimizu's effort from a few minutes of game time ago as it sails over the crossbar for a goal kick. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us wherever you happen to be, in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or anywhere around the world, on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. As Mackenzie boots that ball out, but only as far as Ambo. Tam was set a task with Sandhu at her back. Back to Mackenzie, who's just going to look for the touchline and find it. Mainly fell as the ball sailed over her head, but Calder will get another opportunity now. Ambo. Ball in. Nice use of the body there by Lum to try to just turn it onward, but emerging scrambling to clear their lines, out for a throw-in for Calder. Some sustained pressure early on.
Evo! Start ball!
Gordion's throw-in, well, reached Ambo, and then her header intended for Sandhu, but bounces away from her and out for a goal kick. Goal kick just nodded on by Laura Aitken. And introduced Buttress, sends it up the touchline. Rossi, fantastic use of the body. She's got teammates arriving, Rossi. Can only pick out the defender, Magorian. Sends it out to the touchline, and then the 18 of FE emerging, Ellen Gaudry. All in her hands. Both these sides searching, looking for emerging what would be a goal that could see them retake the lead off of Calder, complete their comeback from behind. We had winners in both of last night's games, Box Hill falling 2-1 to newly promoted Brunswick Juventus in the opening game of the season, and Heidelberg United at this venue, counting Alamein 2-0. Shimizu knocked it forward for Ambo. Attempted into play between her and Eki, doesn't come off. Couple of metres to be gained for another throw-in for Calder, who for large stretches of that first half really found themselves pegged back by emerging. Their discipline and their pressing and their good shape. We're hoping that with some half-time adjustments they can begin to find just a bit more joy, especially in sustained periods of possession. And interplay trying to work their way, not just over or around, but through this emerging back line. Right now, they're just moving forward in bursts of a couple of metres between throw-ins. All again in dispute, and some very fancy footwork there from Buttress to find a bit of space. Mackenzie closed down, able to get the ball away. It's going to stay in as well. Yates. Cortes sends it down the touchline for Rossi. Continues her run, and what a goal! What a goal from Rossi! Just spied the angle, spied where the keeper was, and deftly placed that over her head and into the back of the net. Remarkable. Rossi has a brace. Emerging has the lead again. An absolutely gorgeous goal to do it with. Rossi, one of these players we talked about in the opening half that have been called up to junior Matilda's camps in recent times in prep for the under-17 Asian Cup later this year, and just a bit of a sign there as to why. It was Calder trying to come forward quickly through Anderson to enter back, no doing. And well, Rossi, in less than an hour's football here in 2024, she has now equalled her senior goal scoring mark from last season. Took her 12 starts in 17 appearances to do it last campaign. Probably a sign of good things to come. For the former Bulleen player, headed into the NCC program in 2022. Now Calder, having worked so hard to get back level just before the halftime break, find themselves down again. Again, it's these throw-ins on the left flank that Calder are going to have to build something from. Eki hurls it central. Shimazu sliding forward to keep it alive. Langley falling over as she knocked it forward, and it's going to be a very comfortable collection for Chloe Mackenzie. Imagine, look at a build out. Calder not pressing the centre backs, pressing the second option, and they're going to win the ball back. Ambo, first time ball, Shimazu on Sandu, back to Shimazu. Thought about the shot, angle wasn't there. Langley just lost track of her surroundings, had to react quickly. Calder still in possession, Shimazu is through. Ball across, Sandu was offside. It won't count. Shimazu had all of the goal to look at, opted to be unselfish and square it, but on that occasion, avarice would have been the better value. As Calder's chances of an equaliser disappear with the raising of the assistant's flag. Kick taken quickly, intended for Sandu, who will, if you've watched Sandu, you know she'll be steaming at that missed opportunity. It's cleared away by Tam. Langley comes flying through, ball in dispute. Dakotas came away with it for emerging. All in behind now, Buttress. Danella Buttress off the bench and wide of the post with the effort. Emerging coming right up to pressure the goal kick. Camilleri sends it out to her right. Deflects out for a Calder throw in. Gorian takes it. Sandul can't poke it past Annabelle Yates. Coming together, remained in play. Both sides appealing for it. Calder gets it. Only for about a second or two before they will put the ball out in emerging side of the park. It's taken quickly, perhaps too quickly. Maybe emerging wasn't ready. Ball knocked forward. Lum's going to give chase. Played back to Mackenzie. She's under pressure to Tam. Ambo was keeping her company. Sandul closes down Yates. And emerging will have a throw in. Boeing has time. Now the press comes. Shimazu. Little spin move before she sends it out to Gorian on the right. Sandul heads it on. Ambo wanted to try to turn, knocked it instead to Langley, who tried to burst forward, but he's brought down. See, she's immediately appealing for the yellow card, and she's going to get one. Tartaglia goes into the book, the first outfielder to receive a booking today. Chanel Camilleri receiving a caution for inadvertently handling the ball outside of her box in the opening stanza, as emerging make another change. Poppy O'Keefe coming onto the park, replacing Ellen Gaudry. Poppy O'Keefe getting a taste of senior football. Scored 4 goals in just 6 appearances for the under-19 side in 2023. So that's now the under-20 side. After some changes by Football Victoria, emerging under-20s beating Calder's 2-0 in the curtain raiser to this game. Sandul lofts it in. I'm not sure if it was an intended shot, but it certainly turned into one in the air. But Mackenzie is able to watch it sail wide for a goal kick. And trying to apply the press. Emerging keep their cool as they work the ball around. Sandul picks it out on the second attempt. Forward by Hyson. It's going to bounce through. Olivia Anderson has a bit of time before she's going to be closed down by Tam. Ball in. It's going to fall for Sandul, but she can't get proper contact with the shot. And it'll be a rather comfortable claim in the end for Chloe Mackenzie. Ball in behind, intended for Buttress. Couldn't quite get there. Rossi. She's got a brace, but she's going to play through her teammate. Kokotis. What a save. Chanel Camilleri. Falling to her left. Knocking it out for a corner. That was ever so close to what would have been, on the balance of play, an almost decisive third goal on the hour mark. Instead, Calder are able to get some numbers back to defend. Well, it is still threatening. A corner kick. We've seen emerging have a number of set pieces straight from the training track. And here comes another one, the short corner, opening up the angle. Bouncing into the box, knocked clear. And the loose ball will roll favourably for Calder as they come away with it. Did well there, did Annabelle Yates, steaming forward, playing the ball in behind for Rossi. We've got this, back to Rossi. Rossi, ball across, bundled into the net. It is 3. Rossi turns provider, Danella Buttress finishes it off. And FV emerging after going ever so close just a minute ago, get that goal. They get their third, they get the 2-goal buffer, and they put themselves in an incredibly commanding position with half an hour to go in this one. Calder United 1, trailing the hosts, FV emerging 3. Just before they can make a change as well. So Larissa Walsh, the West Australian, who is coming onto the park in place of Olivia Anderson, forced to watch on as her side goes down by 2 before she can make an impact. Scored 6 goals in 2023, did Larissa Walsh. She is actually the leading returning scorer for Calder. Hua Haida and Raquel Doralis, the leading scorers, but both now signed to Western United, so falls upon Larissa Walsh to provide the bulk of the returning goals with her 6. Ball falls for Ambo. Sends it to the newly introduced Walsh, and I think she was just trying to put that one into the path of the arriving Akeisha Sandhu, but sent too close to the goalkeeper. As Yates sends it to central position, Rossi was in the vicinity. 2 goals and an assist to her name now. That's going to be a turnover straight to Buttress. Danella Buttress, she has a teammate arriving, goes herself and sends the effort straight at Chanel Camilleri. The overlapping option was there, probably was the better one. They'll get another chance now, Will emerging. As Aitken, whose overlapping run was the one that was ignored on that occasion, coughs the ball up herself. Sandhu charges down Yates, attempt to knock it forward. Walsh arriving late, but Sandhu's going to have a lot of work to do against some fine defending. Ambo keeps it alive, knocks the ball in. Emerging had the numbers, couldn't get there, Walsh. Knocks it back to Langley. Calder still with it. Shimizu is through, over the top of the keeper. The touch, the poise, the finish. Emerging had stopped, expecting the flag to be raised. Shimizu kept going. She's got a brace now herself. She's got 2 gorgeous goals to do it. A long-range bomb. And just a dinky, cheeky little chip over the top of Mackenzie. And the goals, they are beginning to flow. The score now. FV emerging 3, Calder United 2, with 25 minutes of regulation, plus whatever added time we get remaining. There's emerging coming through now. Rossi, can she answer straight back? Yes, she can! It's remarkable. It's a goals rush at the home of the Matildas. Rossi has her 3rd, has the hat-trick. And that 2-goal buffer, well, Emerging lost it for all of about 30 seconds. The Calder defence going to sleep. Rossi coming through. The FE Emerging number 10 is having herself a day out here in Bandura. Do not blink if you are watching along on this stream on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. You might miss a goal at this rate. There's a change coming, a couple of changes coming for Calder. Shimizu won't get a chance to get a hat-trick of her own. She'll come off. Kobe Wilbert coming on for her. Jessie Armstrong coming on as well, replacing Eva Megorian. So a couple of youngsters that have come up through the Calder Academy being brought in. Surely not another one, no. Larissa Walsh's just attempts with the outside of the boot to knock the ball inside. Doesn't come off.
Let's go there.
Goodsmith just moved into the defence in this second stanza. Trying to knock the ball forward to Eva Kokotis. Doesn't come off. Former South Melbourne representative, now with the NTC, is having a good game. On the ball now. O'Keefe. Back to Tartaglia. Across to Tam. Buttress, who has Emerging's other goal. Loses one marker. Coming inside. Buttress brought down. Play on his waved. Now ball played into the path of Ambo. Tartaglia trying to marshal her. Lum can't bustle her way through. And now there's a lot of space here for Emerging to work in. Kokotis. The ball is going to roll out wide. Oh, she's passed her marker with ease. Cut back. The top of the box. Can't quite find the angle for the shot Emerging, but they retain possession. Poppy O'Keefe. Out to Annabelle Yates. Two of the substitutes for Emerging combining there. Back to the captain. Goodsmith. Tartaglia. Well, Lum was in the vicinity, but you could tell immediately from the reaction from the Emerging defender. I wasn't pleased with herself for that one, as drinks break is called for. 69 minutes gone here at the home of the Matildas. It is the hosts, FE Emerging, leading Calder United 4-2. Karina Rossi has a hat-trick to her name. Danella Buttress with the other goal, set up by Rossi. Again, Shimizu in her first game for Calder United, answering back with a brace, but she has now made her way to the subs bench. Will take no more part in this one. Well, that's some fine goals today as well. Long range, deft pieces of skill. Six goals scored, 4 of them coming in this second stanza. Less than 25 minutes. So looking at the official statistics, Shimizu brought it back to 3-2 and 64 minutes and 2 seconds. Only for Rossi to restore that 2-goal buffer and make it 4-2 after 64 minutes and 49 seconds. So officially 47 seconds between goals here at the home of the Matildas. As Calder, as one might expect of the side that is trailing out there first, eager to see play resume. Emerging now, coming out to join them. There will be a Calder United throw-in on that far side flank. Throw-in delivered, play resumes. Just under 20 minutes of regulation plus stoppage time. Still here to play out in Bandura. As Lum just sees the ball knocked away from her by the sliding challenge. Some nice work by Emerging to come down this left flank. Rossi gives chase, but the pass from Clancy West away. Just a bit too much on it. And Camilleri claims the ball. Westaway gets in the road, however. So Emerging can come straight back. Yates. Goodsmith. Poppy O'Keefe looked up, saw a Calder player charging her down and knocked her back to her defence. She can have another go now, but Walsh on this occasion trying to pick her pocket. And in the end, winning the free kick for Calder United. Good play from the West Australian. Emerging, preparing another substitute from their bench as well. That ball forward intended for Ambo. Good use of the body by Tartaglia. Out to Tam. O'Keefe. Pass is slightly wayward. Wilbert on the ball for Calder. She can't find a teammate. Westaway wanted to knock something into the path of Buttress. Doesn't come off, but free kick will be going the way of the hosts. Samira Bachepi preparing to come onto the park for FE Emerging. She scored 11 goals across 20 appearances for the under-19s last season. Didn't get a senior minute. Those are out to be forthcoming now. High ball across the park. Kokotis is going to have to chase it. And she didn't. Oh, it was offside in the end. Delayed whistle after the assistant raises his flag on that far side. Meanwhile, Emerging can make a change. Calder United preparing one as well. Until the Lowry. Preparing to come onto the park for Calder. So the Lowry coming on for Calder. 10 appearances for Alamein in 2023. Now playing football at Keilor Park Recreation Reserve. Enters the fray with her side down 4-2. Confirmation that is Samira Bachepi, who's come on for Emerging. She enters with her side up 2 goals. And a chance to do a bit of work now on this left flank with just over 15 minutes of regulation remaining. Tartaglia across to Mackenzie. Over touch for Bachepi. Turnover, seized upon by Wilbert. And intended for Ambo and just cleared away at the last. ball in dispute. Walsh will get there first. Round one defender. Looking for the cut back to Sandu, picked out. All remains in play. Big coming together in the middle of the park, and that'll be a free kick for FE Emerging. O'Keefe crunched in the challenge, but it went favourably for Emerging. Danella Buttress keeping it in. Ball sent in and beating everyone in the end. Smira Chepi was arriving, mostly in the vicinity as well. Calder surviving with a goal kick. Fine pressure from Emerging, again giving the hosts fits, and there you go. Ball sent out for a corner. The pitch invader is removed from near the dugout, and when I say pitch invader, I mean a small child that had wandered over there. Club Marshal just ensuring that the gate is now properly shut. As Calder take another goal kick. This one a little bit more successful, at least in getting out of their own penalty area. Lowry across the park for Armstrong. She dances around one challenge. Crunched in between two Emerging players, but got the ball away first. Natalia looking up. Looking the ball forward, only as far as Adeline Ayton. And then she's going to give the ball straight back. Ball in behind. Armstrong got a touch and just enough on it to get it to Camilleri. Walsh finds Sandu. Akeisha Sandu closed down. Yates trying to stand her up. Sandu tries to beat her for pace, and failing that yanks her down in a manner that will ensure the Emerging number 2 wins the free kick. It comes up a little bit sore. Free kick for Annabelle Yates, junior Matilda, from the Border region, former Murray United player. Also, there's the distinction, I guess you could call it, of being the only Emerging player to be sent off in 2023. Wasn't a straight send-off, a yellow card accumulation. Always a very well-behaved side is FE Emerging. They've coughed the ball up here. Lum playing the ball through. Ambo was offside. Wouldn't have counted. Tartaglia got to know that, ensuring that a shot wasn't sent off anyway. Calder coming up with it. Ambo turning. Could knock the pass in Sandu's direction before she was knocked over. A little bit couldn't retain possession from Calder, and now here we go. It's a 3-on-3 for Emerging. There's communication there between Buttress and Rossi. Calder can't spring counter of their own. Buttress now There's space to let this ball bounce. Cutting the ball back was the emerging winger. Couldn't find a teammate. Loose ball. Sandra's going to get there first. Tried to just knock it past Yates. Picked out. Yates, Rossi got crunched badly after she knocked the ball around, and it's going to come back for a free kick. In an intriguing position for emerging. I've seen a goal scored from a bit further out today by Kane Shimizu for Calder. Need a new ball as well. And if you are Karina Rossi, you've got a hat-trick to your name already, and you've been hitting them as well as you have today as well, you might fancy your chances. She's got Clancy Westaway there for company as well. Two junior Matildas in the conversation. It's a four-person wall for Calder. Well, Buttress is the only player in the vicinity that is maybe an option for the pass. So this is going to be a shot. Westaway looking for that top corner. Oh, couldn't bring it down in time. The emerging press. It's going to force a turnover. Rossi brought down underneath the sliding challenge of Adeline Ayton. Both players coming together as well in the aftermath. Referee Angelique Catsales. Just a bit of a talking to. Top down, Calder coming up with it. Ambo is the furthest player forward for the visitors. We'll give her options left and right. Goes to her left, Larissa Walsh. Smith coming across, ball back to Ambo, nice little move. She wanted to get the ball across to Akeisha Sandu outside of the boot. And the Calder transition falls apart at the last. We have seen on a couple of occasions today, Calder United, when they're getting in these positions where a shot could be on, looking for that one final pass to really put it on a platter and the move petering out instead. Lum shoved over, that'll be a free kick. Natalia getting a bit of a talking to. Just a bit of feeling seeping into this one in the 83rd minute of the game, and talking about in the first half, in the 20-game history of this fixture between FV Emerging and Calder United. Calder have won 18. There's been one draw and one emerging win. Well, in the 21st clash between the two, looks like emerging are well on their way, putting another one in that ledger. Their lone other win came back in the 2022 season, round 16. And soon-to-be gold medalist Sarah Kane scored the only goal of the game in the 19th minute to lift what was then a Helen Winterburn coach side to a 1-0 win over what was then a Mark Torcaso coached Calder United. As emerging preparing another change of their own. Amelia Ingles coming onto the park. I think it's Laura Aitken that has come off on that far side of the park, making the long walk around the side of this home of the Matildas pitch. Walsh trying to bustle her way through, coming together between her and Tartaglia. Free kick going the way of emerging. Ingles moved into the centre back position. Time and space for Poppy O'Keefe. And Casey Westaway just unable to control it. Yet another turnover. Westaway winding up and flashing a few warning signs, but Chanel Camilleri watching it all the way. Space to operate in on the left flank for Calder. Can't do anything with it, sending it straight back to emerging. Yates. Back to Mackenzie. 5 minutes of regulation remaining now. Goodsmith. Back to Mackenzie. Walsh applying the pressure. Central to Poppy O'Keefe. Retain possession emerging. Bit of interplay for Calder United. Sandur sent it back central. Wanted Walsh. Goodsmith stole it away, but Lum takes it straight back. And Poppy O'Keefe just pushes her over. And that'll be a free kick for Calder United. Probably too far out to score from this position. It's a decent angle. We'll have to see what takes their fancy. It's Ambo and Sandu standing over it before Sandu is left alone. So Akisha Sandu is something of a set-piece specialist, and maybe down 4-2 at this time. She might go for goal herself. Akisha Sandu winding up, trying to catch out the keeper at the near post, but Mackenzie spilled it initially. Teased Alicia Eckie, who came steaming forward, but the emerging keeper proves up to the task. Made just 2 senior starts last season, did Chloe Mackenzie. Did get 1 win in those 2 against Southern United, lost the other one to Alamein, but now she will make it 2 wins as a senior starter for the Victorian NTC program. Dying stages now. Ball in emerging's attacking third, but Calder coming out down the right through Matilda Lowry. Annabelle Yates just content to watch it bounce out, knowing that Sandu wasn't going to be able to get there. Poppy O'Keefe. Knocking the ball out wide to Tam. Tam sends it central. Cleared away by Calder. It's a dangerous looking ball, and Tam has chased it down, but the ricochet off her shins will allow Camilleri to claim it. Not wanting to take another goal kick given how effectively Calder have pressed those today. Ambo trying to combine with Walsh, it's not going to work out. Mackenzie. Puts it forward. Now a bit of space opening up again for emerging. There's multiple players here on the left flank. Neither of them are going to be able to chase that down before it bounces out. Westaway and Yates were thinking about it. Ingles. O'Keefe. Tartaglia has been good for emerging in the back line. All down the left, and the Chappie was lurking only for Camilleri to come bursting through and counted for naught, as the flag had already been raised. sniffed away by Maya Hyson. And territory will shift as it goes all the way into the gloves of Chloe McKenzie. Natalia to Tam. Buttress. Oh, good thinking with the little touch there, only for her to be taken down by Adeline Ayton. Something of a professional foul, but she'll avoid a booking. We have played now the full 90 minutes of regulation, going off the scoreboard here at the home of the Matildas. Ingles. Goodsmith. O'Keefe. Tam. And Tam just with a little mistake. And that move will end. We'll call the throw-in. And now we'll see what can Emerging create this time in the final stages of the game. Sent down the touchline by Yates, sent straight back. She can have another go, this time going central. The O'Keefe has seen a lot of the balls since she's come on. Rossi, entry to her name, but is now playing a bit deeper in these final stages. Tam. Jade Tam, a ton of time to look up and try to find an option. And it was there. The fifth was waiting. Smira Rachapi couldn't make proper contact. Play remains alive. Buttress just bounced off her forehead. West away, taking it to the corner flag. Yates coming in to provide support. Sandor there as well, and it's going to be a goal kick. Still, we've played the full 90 minutes, but Emerging still pressing those goal kicks. Still continuing to give Calder fits with it. Rossi wins the turnover. Tam looking up. Jake Tam! Camilleri just knocks it over the bar. Tam looking for the exclamation mark. I'll have to make do with a corner. Set piece opportunity for Emerging to pad this score. They've taken most of their corners short this game. I wonders if they'll actually look to deliver this in. They will. It's a high ball. Pack formed, and I think it was Ingles that got the final touch on that for Emerging, but glancing off her head. And Ingles sending it straight back. Buttress off her chest. Falling for Rachapi. Her shot was blocked. Missed away. Again, taking it to the corner. Emerging throw-in. Novelle Yates coming up from her position at left back to take it. Looked in the Poppy O'Keefe direction, instead sends it into the box. Bounces out to Sandu. Sent straight back to Emerging to Goodsmith. But that is where we will end. Emerging get their second ever win over Calder United, and it is a thoroughly deserved one. A hat-trick to Karina Rossi, a single goal to Danella Buttress, overwhelming Kane Shimazu's brace. Emerging, they harassed, they harangued, they broke with intent, they were well disciplined and well organised, and they lay down something of an opening round statement here at the home of the Matildas. Their focus now can turn to what will be the second of a three-game homestand to start this season against Brunswick Juventus next weekend. Meanwhile, Calder, they will get the chance to play at Keilor Park Recreation for the first time in 2024 when they take on the newly promoted Essendon Royals. My name has been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us today on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. Apologies for those early broadcasting hiccups, but we got there in the end. Reminder that you can catch every game of the NPL Women's Victoria Women's Season, Men's Season here on the NPL Victoria YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe, tell a friend, be a friend, get them to subscribe as well. But one last time here from the home of the Matildas. It is FV Emerging 4, Calder United 2. My name again has been Joey Lynch. Thanks and success.